So we'll just give a few minutes for others to join in. Please reach out to everyone you know that registered for this event, that it's time. Activate is starting soon, not starting soon. It's starting now because it's already 10 o'clock. I would like to keep the time so that everyone can go about their day. So good morning. If you're just joining us, welcome to Activate, this edition of Activate. So we'll just give a few minutes for others to join in and we'll be back shortly. Thank you. Okay, so we'll just start in 1 minute, just 1 minute. We're just giving 1 minute. So by 10:02, we'll kick off. So please reach out to your friends, your loved ones that registered, and just tell them that Activate has started now. Thank you. Okay, it's 10:02 so that we can be done with it on time. So my name is Oluwafulakemi Oladeji. Welcome to Activate, and I'll be your moderator and host. One of our speakers is here, Temilolu Adewole. I'll be introducing them in a few minutes, but before we start, I would like to just give us some I'd like to do some housekeeping and state some rules before we start. So you can ask your questions on the chats anytime you have a question, and our speakers will do well to answer them. So the topic for this activity is maintaining wellness. Maintaining wellness. You know, before I go on, I'd just like to define what is mental health. Please give me a few minutes. Okay. So the full topic is actually maintaining mental wellness. So I'd just like to explain what mental health wellness is, you know. And a couple of days I had to speak with some people, and then they'll say, oh, I don't need the training on mental wellness. I'm not running mad. Yes, nobody is running mad in Jesus' name, but we noticed that taking care of our mental health has not been a thing in Nigeria. You know, we don't actually take care of our mental health. So that's why we are bringing this topic for everyone. Good morning, Ma. It's good to see you. Good morning. So, yes, so, okay, DK Jonah is also here as second speaker. I'll be introducing them. Just let me give a brief summary of what mental health is all about. So from an online article, mental health includes our emotion, our psychological and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act. It also helps determines how we handle stress, you know, how we relate to others, and how we make healthy choices. So some people, when they are stressed, it's just buzz goes from every corner. So we're here to learn how to handle our mental health. It's very important. And as tech people, as entrepreneurs, it's important we know that there can be mental struggles, but it can be managed better. And you don't have to burst out, you don't have to burn out. So we have great speakers, and they're going to do justice to it. So make sure your network is not disturbing you. If your network is disturbing you, collect from your neighbor. Just ensure that you're connected to this webinar. It's going to be interesting, I can assure you that. So yeah. Then there's a saying that says that the fact is that where any aspect of a person's well-being reduces, so does ease of our performance and effectiveness. And luckily, DK Jonah is a productivity coach. She'll be addressing it from that angle. Temilolu Adewole is also a nature specialist too. So she'll be addressing it from eating healthy, fitness, all those angles. Just stay tuned, stay glued to your phone, stay glued to your system, and ensure that you're listening and writing as much as possible. So, like I said earlier, you can drop your questions on the chat and we'll ensure to send them to our speakers to address them. I'll just introduce our speakers. Speaker one is Adewole Temilolu Olubusola. She's the founder of Nature's Health and Fitness. She specializes in helping busy professionals lose excess weight in a healthy way and get better control over health issues by adjusting their lifestyle. She's also the CEO of Nature's Delight Products, specializing in the production of healthy drinks, healthy products, and healthy meal preparation to help reduce the risk of people coming with chronic diseases. She's a mother of 2 girls and a lover of God. With an audio clap, I know we can have a physical clap. Please make welcome Adewole Temilolu Olubusola. We just have to hear your welcome speech. Okay, we can't actually hear you if you're
Thank you so much.
Okay, it's
Can
good
you
to
hear me now?
Yes, we can, clearly. Yes, we can. It's good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for...
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I'm
Good
so
morning.
excited
We are
to be
happy
here
to have
this
you.
morning.
Thank you
thank
very
you so
much.
much.
Thank you. We are so glad you're here and you could make it. Thank you for being part of our, our community. And the second speaker I'll be introducing is... Yeah, welcome, ma'am. The second speaker is DK Jonah. Let me just read her profile briefly. DK Jonah is the founder of Steadfast Creative and co-founder of Unlocking Creativity Consultancy. She's the author of No Gragra and DIY, do-it-yourself branding. She works as a brand strategist and productivity coach, committed to helping individuals reach their full potential. As a performance consultant, she recognizes the critical role personal branding plays in an individual's success. She's specializing in helping people build their personal brand, both online and offline, offering frameworks to guide them through the process. Whether it's creating a strong online presence or developing a clear personal brand message, DK has the expertise to help individuals stand out and make a lasting impression. In addition to personal branding, DK has a strong background in digital marketing and content creation. She understands the importance of engaging effective content that resonates with target audience and can help individuals develop a content strategy that aligns with their personal brand. At the core of DK's coaching philosophy is a belief that individuals should be productive without sacrificing their values or individuality. She promotes a solution-driven approach to creativity and encourages finding a work style that aligns with one's lifestyle and personal goals. With DK's guidance, individuals can prioritize their well-being and find fulfillment in their work. Through their own struggles and self-discovery, DK has become an expert in helping people overcome obstacles and achieve their goals. With her support, individuals can build a strong personal brand, create impactful content, and develop a productivity style that works for them. So with an audio clap, please welcome DK Jonah. Okay, we can hear you, ma.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. So thank you. And then we'll just be going into the first keynote speech by Temilolu Adewole. Please, like I mentioned earlier, if you have any question, just drop it on the chat and we'll do well to address it. Madam Temilolu Adewole, you have the floor now.
All right. Good morning, everybody. And thank you for the opportunity to be here today. It's actually a privilege for me because whenever I have to speak about health, I feel very happy because a lot of people, though we realize that health is important, but then the strategies to actually do these things. People find it very hard. And this is one very silent issue that's affecting a lot of people today. Like you said, that when you approach most people, they are like they were like they don't have any mental issues. They are not mad or anything. And this is what most people fail to understand. And that's how I'll be taking you through today. So well done, everyone. I have just 20 minutes, and I pray that I will be able to cover up within that 20 minutes. So I've been called to speak about, I've been told to speak on mental wellness strategies for entrepreneurs. And then I'll be touching on techniques for managing stress in high pressured environments, building resilience, and then identifying and preventing burnout. So let's quickly go into what we have for today. What is mental wellness? Mental health is a very important topic because the lack of mental health affects every other aspect of our lives. It affects our health. Like, you know, health is also social, health is physical, health is spiritual, and health is also mental. Most people just focus on the physical aspect, leaving out the mental aspect. And they've forgotten to understand that if your mental health is not on point, it has a way, it's actually connected with your physical health. Your physical health cannot be on point. So all these things, they actually need to be balanced. So let's really look at what mental health is. According to World Health Organization, that's WHO, mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities. I'm going to also break it down. It's a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her own community. So this is actually a well-balanced definition. So let me break it down so that we understand what WHO is telling us. They said mental health is a state of well-being. Like the MC said, the person who introduced us said that she was approaching people and they were like, they are not mad. Mental wellness does not only have to do with when you're actually having a mental disorder, like madness, where they have to take you to the psychiatric hospital, or that is not what mental wellness is all about. Mental wellness is a state. The fact that you are not mentally disordered does not mean that you are actually mentally healthy. Is a state, it is not a condition. So I really want us to actually understand that today. And then, in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities. This means that a mentally healthy person understands and acknowledges his or her strengths and abilities. How many of us know our strengths and abilities today? How many people roaming on the street? How many people pursuing a business, building a business, or doing a job knows their strengths or their abilities? It's very important to know your strengths or your abilities. If you're able to know your strength, you're able to work on it. If you're able to know your weakness, you will know how you can actually delegate out that weakness. Because the truth is, if you work more on your weakness than your strength, you are going to definitely be overwhelmed. You'll be frustrated. You'll be discouraged. At the end of the day, you'll be forced to quit. So a mentally healthy person is someone that knows his strengths and his abilities. I need us to actually note that. Now, it's someone that can cope with the normal stresses of life. You will agree with me that life is actually very stressful. You can't run away from stress, but you can manage it. But you definitely cannot run away from stress, because definitely, especially as entrepreneurs are actually stressed, especially those that are just coming up, where you cannot really delegate a lot of things. You have to be this, you have to do this, you have to do this at the same time. So for you to be able to manage that stress without being overwhelmed, it's possible for you to manage stress without being overwhelmed. Where you can't manage stress, that means you are actually not mentally healthy. Then, a mentally healthy person is someone who can work productively, being able to perform your job well and being satisfied on the job. The truth is, a lot of people are actually not satisfied. Even in running business, a lot of people are not actually not satisfied with the job. They are actually frustrated, but they have to remain in the job because they feel that if they leave the job, they're definitely not going to get the resources that they need. So they are actually frustrated and not satisfied. And so if you're in a job where you are not satisfied, it's going to definitely affect your mental well-being. Then community, being able to make meaningful contributions. the world is a relational place. We can't just be on our own. You can't say, oh, I want to stay on my own. I'm somebody that does not like mingling with people. I don't like making contributions. Such a person is not really mentally healthy, because for you to be in a community, you actually need to contribute your own quota. There's nobody in this world that has come, that God has brought to this world, that has not come with something unique. So that thing, or those things that you have, you definitely need to contribute to your society, contribute to other people, let people feel you, let people be able to influence, let people feel your impact. That is mental wellness. So I hope we now understand that mental wellness is not only about not having any issue, not having any mental disease. No, it's about this 5 aspects I've actually covered. So now let's quickly go to, why do you need to be mentally healthy? I always like telling people the why, because when you know the why, you'll be able to embrace the how. When you know, okay, this is why you are supposed to be doing this thing, you'll be able to embrace it, you'll be able to okay, say, okay, yes, I'm ready to do the how, I'm ready to do those things I need to do, be able to achieve it. So now, why do you need, as an entrepreneur, to be mentally stable, to be mentally healthy? Number one, I just have 2 reasons. Mental health, when you're mentally healthy, it will help you to enjoy life more. Life is not just, you're not just in life too. It's not only money that can actually make you enjoy. I know that money is very important, but then aside money, when you're mentally healthy, you're able to enjoy life more. You're able to cope better with stress, like what our definition about mental wellness said. You're able to cope better with stress, and you're able to make meaningful contributions to your community. You understand that if you're able to give value, people will rally around you. If you are someone of value, people will, you always attract people, you always attract good things. But if you're someone that cannot give value, people will not come to you. That is just how it is. So you're able to, it will help you to make meaningful contributions to your community wherever you are, and it supports your ability to maintain good relationship. You can't go through life without developing relationship. You need relationship, you need people. You can't walk through life alone. And then it will help you to perform well at work, and you'll be able to embrace your hobbies and your interests. So that is one reason why you need to be mentally healthy. The second reason why you need to be mentally healthy is because it affects your physical health. If you are depressed, if you are always anxious, anxiety, if you're always frustrated, it could actually affect your heart. It could affect your immune system. Your immune system, they're actually soldiers that protect your body, that go out, just like in a country that we have the armed forces that go out to protect the nation. That is what your immune system does. It protects your body system from being brought down by bacteria and all those viruses and everything. So when you're not mentally healthy, when you're not mentally stable, when your mental wellness is actually having issues, it begins to affect your immune system. And once your immune system shuts down, every other part of your body begins to shut down, and you would not like it. Definitely no one would love to employ someone that is not always physically healthy. You are giving excuses today. Oh, I can't come to the office today. I can't come to the office tomorrow. 1 week you're out of the office. Of course, nobody will want that. So it all starts with your mental health. Now, I hope I'm not too fast. Please just follow me through. I just want to cover a lot before my time is up. Now, what are the techniques for managing stress in a high-pressured environment? Of course, I know even if you are, let's say you're an employee or you're having your own business, there is pressure to meet up with responsibility. So how can you actually manage that stress, that daily stress that comes? How can you manage it? Number one, you need to know your stress triggers. You need to know what triggers your stress first. What is that thing that stresses you out? You need to actually know it. And how can you know it? Is by actually self-reflecting, thinking back. We live in a very busy world. The world is so busy. Everybody just moving up and down, trying to achieve things. And we have little or no time to just sit back and think, oh, how has my day been? Oh, think about those things. If you can sit down and reflect, if you can sit down and think, you're able to know those things that trigger your stress. You're able to know, okay, I was really stressed too. I was really overwhelmed today. What are those things I did? What is that thing I did immediately that made me to be stressed up? You'll be, if you could sit down and think, I'm telling you, you'll be able to know your triggers. And when you know your triggers, you will be able to know how to handle them. You'll be able to know how to handle them. Let's say number one, let's say, okay, something that triggered you today at work was the fact that, you were not able to meet up with a deadline and you really had to do that submission. You start putting yourself under pressure, because if you did not submit that thing, maybe it's going to affect your productivity, it's going to affect your report, or it's going to affect your salary and at the end of the month. And then you just needed to do it. And of course, the anxiety and everything with everyone. And I said, okay, that means maybe you procrastinated. That's why you're not able to finish the job, or you were doing things that were less important over this one. If you can sit down and reflect on what triggers your stress, that is one of the starting points to actually managing stress. So it's important for us to reflect. Take time, take a few minutes of your day, maybe before you sleep. When you wake up, sit down. And in fact, it's better before you sleep. Sit down and reflect. Oh, how has my day been? What was responsible for this stress? Why was I anxious? Why was I so afraid and everything? Why was I so bothered? Why was I so frustrated today? Sit down and reflect. It will really help you. Secondly, another thing that can help you manage stress is for you to plan. Planning and time management. You might be wondering, oh, what does planning have to do with my health? What does time management have to do with my health? These two skills play a very important role in your mental health, in your physical health. If you don't plan, like a quote says, he that fails to plan actually plans to fail. When it comes to your health, that's one thing people don't understand. When it comes to your health, you must be ready to plan. You must be ready to plan. Plan out your day. Okay, for my business, this and this is what I need to do today. Oh, for my job, this and this is what I need to do today. When you plan, you will not be overwhelmed. But after you've done this one, you go ahead to do the other one. You go ahead to do the other one. And then you'll be able to manage your time well. Be able to plan, okay, I'm supposed to do this I'm supposed to allocate time to this more important job than the less important one. Once you allocate time and you're able to do that more important one, you will not be able to do the less important one, and that will reduce stress. But when you go about doing the less important one, spending a lot of time doing the less important one, and now you just give little time to the more important job, at the end of the day, you are not able to meet up. It affects your productivity, it affects your sales, it affects your income. You'll be overwhelmed and things are not really working out. You'll be stressed. So it's very important for you to plan out your day. Take your time, have a journal, write down, or have an app on your phone. There are planning apps that you can use on your phone that could even track your time. Say, okay, by 10 o'clock, I'm going to do this. The alarm will ring. Oh, by 11 o'clock, I should be doing this. So planning and time management is very important when it comes to your mental health and your physical health. Let me touch something about your physical health, because your physical health also affects your mental health. When it comes to your physical health, of course, you definitely need to, I'm still going to touch on it later. There's some things that you need to do to keep you healthy consistently every day. Those things also need to be in your plan. You need to plan, you need to be very intentional about your health. Most people are not intentional about their health. The only time they become so intentional is when they break down with health issues and they have no choice than to actually pay attention to their health. But you're not supposed to wait till you break down in health before you begin to pay attention. Begin to invest in your health now. And that also starts with planning and time management. So let's go to the third point on how you can actually strategies to manage stress in a high pressured environment. Number 3, you have to engage in mindful activities. This goes back to your mind again. These are activities that you do that will help you that will capture your full attention, that will help you to be present in the moment. We need to be present in the moment. Most times when we're even talking to people, we're not present. When we're talking to people, we are thinking of other things. We're not present in the moment. We need to learn to be present in the moment. And there are things that will help you. There are mindful activities that you can begin to do right now from today after this meeting that will help you to actually be present in the moment and that will reduce stress at the same time. Number 1, mindful walking, meditative walking. Yes, walking. Walking is very important. It's part of physical activities. But now I don't mean the brisk walking, the fast walking. You are walking at your pace, slow walking, and you are soaking in the experience of the walk. You're able to think about things. You're able to meditate on your own, walking on your own, not even with any individual, just you and you having a meeting by yourself when you're walking is very important. So if you're staying in a safe environment, you could actually walk around maybe in the evening or in the mornings when it's safe, have a walk and do that once in a week 2 times in the week, depending on your schedule. But it's actually important to create time. Put your health in your schedule. It's very important. Now, I'm going to give you the benefits of walking. When you walk, it releases the feel-good chemicals in your body. Our bodies are made up of chemicals. God is actually wonderful. Chemicals control the functioning of our body. It releases your feel-good chemicals in the body, and you feel relaxed. The truth is, if you walk, you are definitely going to feel relaxed. Try it. Just try it. You can try it this evening. Walk, and you come back relaxed. Your brain self will be calm. And then it helps to relieve anxiety. There are a lot of things that makes one want to be anxious. Oh, a lot of things. You know those things that makes you to be anxious. When you walk, it's able to give you relief. And when you walking helps better flow of blood in your body. Your blood will be able to flow. It's not good to always sit down. There are diseases that happen as a result of sitting down. We sit down a lot these days. It's not good to always sit down. So have a time to walk around so that your blood can actually flow better. And blood flow to the brain is very, very good because it actually helps you to be mentally alert, and it helps you to think better. So when you walk, it helps your health, especially your mental health. Mental health starts with your brain and then your mind. And your brain is actually a powerhouse. Now, another exercise that can actually help you to engage in mindful activity is breathing. There are breathing exercises. Of course, I know you're breathing right now. You're breathing in and breathing out, but you can be very intentional about your breathing. It helps to relieve stress. Of course, I'm sure you've heard where people are told on that is that, okay, breathe in, breathe out. It calms you down. So for this breathing exercise, you're going to be more intentional about it. You're going to breathe in 4 times. You're going to breathe in for 4 seconds and then breathe out for 4 seconds and then repeat it like 5 times. This can just be something you do when you wake up or something you do in the office. Let's say you're beginning to be anxious, you're beginning to be overwhelmed. Just breathe in. Breathe in 4 times for 4 seconds. I'm used to time because, of course, then breathe out for 4 seconds and do it 5 times. It's going to really help you. Thirdly, is for you to have a gratitude journal. Create a gratitude list. It's an exercise you should do. So these things, that this thing calls for intentionality. You definitely need to be intentional. Create a gratitude list. You can do it in the morning when you wake up, or you can do it at night before you sleep. You're writing down some things, let's say 5 things you are grateful for that happened to you today in the office, for your business. Oh, I was able to make sales today. I'm grateful. Write it down. These things help you to be more positive. When you write down your gratitude, or things that you are grateful for, they actually help you to see that. They help you to see the things that are working in your life as against things that are not working. Because if you focus on things that are not working, that's when you begin to get unnecessary headache. Focus on things that are working. Write them down and be grateful for them. So you have to actually have a gratitude journal. Go and have it. Get a small note, get a small journal, or you can write it on your notes app on your phone. Very, very important. Now, the next thing you can do to manage stress, and this one is very, very important. Like most people are like, oh, I don't need to do this. Because I'm not this. That is physical exercise. You need to be intentional about exercise. You need to move your body. God created us for movement. God did not create us to just stay in a place, go to work, sit down in an AC environment, come out, stay in the car. When you get home, sit down on the television and sit down again. Some of us will even sleep off there, go to the bed. No plan for movement in our lives. It's very, very dangerous. You definitely need to exercise. You need to engage yourself in exercise. It's very, very important. Exercises helps the brain. It helps the brain. You won't like it that when you are actually growing old, you now have all those issues, those mental issues where you can't remember things, you can't recognize people, you have to depend on people. You won't want that in your older years. So if you don't want that, begin to build the life you want now. Don't say I'm too young. You're not too young. This is the best time to begin to build the kind of life you want, the kind of health you want in the future. So physical exercise, let me give you the importance of exercise, because when you know the importance, you will be able to carry your exercise out. Even if sometimes I can't. When you remember the importance of exercise, you'll be able to do it. So number one, this is what exercise does. It stimulates the chemicals in your brain, chemicals called endorphins. They are the feel-good chemicals. When you begin to do exercise, it naturally helps to kill pains and it helps to boost your mood. Have you experienced it whenever you exercise, even if you are lazy to exercise at the beginning? But once you do it, your mood will be boosted, you'll be happy, you'll be gingered to do things. That is what exercise does. Apart from the fact that you don't only exercise when you want to lose weight. Weight loss, exercise is not just for weight loss. It's to keep your body and soul moving. It's to help the organs in your body, your heart. We have a lot of young ones that are coming down with heart issues today, with high blood pressure. Before, these were diseases of the elderly, but these days we have young people that are actually coming down with health issues, high blood pressure, heart diseases, and because a lot of us are not actually intentional about exercises. Exercise will help you manage your heart and all. Number two, exercise helps to reduce the stress hormones in the body. There's a stress hormone in the body called cortisol. Cortisol, if you don't exercise, it becomes so high. And you know, when you have high level of this stress hormone in your body, it will actually increase your heart rate and it will increase blood pressure. So you can see that exercise is one thing that God gave us to be able to manage our health and your mental health. Thirdly, exercise helps to improve sleep. A lot of people are silently dealing with sleep issues today. A lot will come to the bed, but they cannot sleep. Sleep is not really, it's good for you to have quality sleep. That's quantity, like 7, it is required that we sleep 7 to 8 hours daily. 7 to 8 hours daily. And then within that 7 to 8 hours, the sleep must be quality. But you just find some people rolling on their beds, some people stay on their bed, they can't sleep, they stay there, a lot of people are having sleep issues. That is another health issue, sleep issues. And so one thing that can actually help you manage stress, sleep well, because if you don't sleep, you are going to have mental issues, as in your mental health will not be on point, is for you to exercise. When you exercise will help calm your nerves. It will help you to calm your body. It will produce, there's a hormone in the body that helps you to sleep well. That's the melatonin. When you exercise helps to increase that hormone, and then you will be able to sleep better and you'll be able to sleep well. So if you're having issues with sleep, instead of you to keep using sleeping drug, I had somebody, an elderly person called me and she was like, she doesn't want her body to get to be used to sleeping drug, because if your body is used to sleeping drugs, you won't be able to sleep without those drugs. So instead of you to be so used to be dependent on sleeping pills, take exercise as your pill. Begin to start it, and then you will see progress. So exercise is very, very important for you to manage stress. Exercise. And let me give you some practical ways in which you can exercise. Because most times I know that as entrepreneurs, as employees, as business owners, as CEOs, we are very, very busy and trying to keep up with everything. And then you forget the foundation, the important things. So this is what you need to do. You need to see exercise as very important, because anything you don't take as important, you won't allocate time to it. So if you need to see exercise as very important. If you see it as important, you will allocate time to it in the morning when you wake up. You can wake up, let's say you wake up by 5, you can try to wake up by 4:30 and begin to put in 30 minutes. If you can't put in 30 minutes at a go, like, of course, I know it's actually a process. You can put in 5 minutes, and definitely you don't need to go to the gym. If you don't have the time to go to the gym, there are exercises you can do in the comfort of your home, in your room. You could actually walk in your room and you put in the exercise, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you begin to build on it every day. We are expected to work out for at least 150 minutes in a week. So you can say, okay, I'm going to do 30 minutes 5 days a week. You have put in your 150 minutes. I'm not saying we are perfect. I myself, that should be your goal also. So you can start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You can actually put your alarm, turn on your alarm clock to wake you up earlier. Or if you come back in the evening, you could actually, it just have to do with intentionality. You need to be determined. Then again, you can get an accountability partner or someone that, okay, it's time, that will tell you, okay, it's time, let us go out and walk. Let's go out and do this exercise. Or it could be virtual. That's why we have Zoom. So if you could exercise in the comfort of your house, just have someone that will push you to keep doing these things. Note that health is wealth, and you need to exercise. Don't say, oh, I don't have time. I have a lot of things. There's money to be made. The truth is, if you make all the money, and at the end of the day, you can't spend the money, it doesn't make any sense. Or if you make all the money And at the end of the day, you have to keep pumping this money into hospital bills, into drugs. It makes no sense. So it's very important for you to take exercises as part of your lifestyle. Now, number 5 way for you to manage stress in a high-pressured environment is, please let me know when my time is getting up, please, is for you to pay attention to your nutrition. Exercise is just by the side. Nutrition is 99%. If you see a very healthy person, know that that person is actually 99% being intentional about what passes through his or her mouth. Food is not just to satisfy your hunger. Food is not just to make us happy, but food is actually fuel to the body. Just as these are fuel we use for our car, helps the car to move. Your food is what gives you energy. Now the question is, are you fueling your body with bad energy, or you are fueling your body with good energy? Of course, the body will take whatever you give the body, but at a point, it's definitely going to revolt. And when the body begins to revolt, it's not going to be funny. So the food you eat is very important, especially for stress. If you eat good food, your body will be able, that food will act as fuel to manage the stress. But if you begin to give your body junks, if you begin to eat food just for pleasure, at the end of the day, you find out that you are easily stressed, you are easily tired, even when you've not done something. So you are easily anxious, you are easily irritated. Look at what you are actually feeding your body with. Now, let me give you some importance of good food. Good food, healthy food, helps to regulate your mood and makes you feel good. If you are someone that is always moody and always feeling good, check what you are eating. Check what you are eating. So food like turkey, eggs, they are very good for the brain. They help your mood. Then again, food helps to improve your motivation. Food helps you to always, as in you feel motivated to pursue your goals, to meet that deadline, to be productive at work, in your business. Food is a tool, So we have food like avocado, banana, almond. These are foods actually high in good fat, in healthy fat. It's actually okay for you to eat them. And then food helps you to maintain consistent energy. You will always be energized. You will not always be tired. Food like fruits, vegetables, whole grains are actually very good for you. Then food helps to stabilize your blood sugar. This is very important because the truth is, these days, we are having a lot of young people that are coming down with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, high blood sugar. And please, I will, by your side, I'm going to encourage everyone to make sure you check your blood pressure and check your blood sugar. It's very important, not only for the elderly, but for the young people, at least once in a month. If you're actually not having those issues, once in a month, check those two. Or if you're having those issues already, it is not a death sentence, check it like every week or every day. It's very important. So food helps regulate your blood sugar. If you eat healthy food, your blood sugar will not spike and crash. If you eat, healthy food. So it's very important. I have 5 minutes more. And then water is also very important. Water is good for the brain. If you drink water, the required amount of water every day, is going to help your brain. You know, the body is made up of 90% of water. The body functions on water. So you need to definitely pump water to help your body and to help your brain perform well. Now foods to eat to avoid foods that you eat that could actually induce stress. Your refined carbohydrates, or the junks, grains that have actually been stripped that they've removed their fiber and everything. Those things are actually not good for us to eat. Alcohol, caffeine, reduce them if possible. Stay away from them. These things are good. And then eat more of vegetables, eat more of fruits, eat more of whole grains. Whole grains, we have them in Nigeria. Your rice, your brown rice, your beans, your millets, all these things. We have a lot. We are blessed. So just look for how you can incorporate them into your diet and begin to eat. Now, these following tips will actually help you. The following tips will help you to eat healthy. People say, I don't have the time to eat healthy. So when I'm at work, I just go and buy meat pie, cake, Coke, Fanta, all those things. They're really not good for your body. They affect your brain. Now, you have to plan your meals, have a meal plan. Plan is, okay, this week, you can do things that you can cook your food in advance, store them in a good way, and just bring them out and eat, take it to work so that you don't have to start to eat unhealthy snacks. Then when you are eating, be mindful. When you are eating, it's not time for you to hold your phone exercise self-control. Of course, I know it's not easy. Can you hear me? Say my network is not stable, but please, can you hear me? I know
Yes,
it's not.
yes.
All right. I know it's not easy when you see people having these carbonated drinks and everything. You have to embrace self-control. If not, you will not be able to work on this healthy lifestyle. And a healthy lifestyle is very important for you to actually maintain. Is actually a healthy lifestyle is very important for you to be able to rise above stress. And when you're able to rise above stress, you definitely will be very productive. So I hope we've actually learned a lot of things. So I have others, but my time is up. Let me just summarize how you can build resilience after. Okay, let me go to how you can prevent burnout. Of course, we all know the meaning of burnout. So let me just go to how you can prevent burnouts. The tips I've given you to reduce stress is the same tips that you can use to prevent burnout. So you have to create time for self-care. The money you are making is to take care of yourself too. So please create that time for self-care. Go out, exercise is part of self-care. Prioritize your sleep. Aim to sleep for 7 to 8 hours. If you plan your time, I'm telling you, you'll be able to meet up with this number of these hours of sleep. Eat healthy food. Exercise regularly. Schedule time to relax. Don't always be busy. Don't always be found busy. That does not mean you are hardworking. That you are busy all the time does not mean that you are hardworking. Don't let your body break down before you begin to take care of yourself. So schedule time for self-relaxation and then practice mindfulness. Learn to say no. It's not everything you say yes to. Learn to say no. Sometimes you just need to say no. Then learn to disconnect after work. Keep your laptop away. Learn to just, after work, it's time for you to relax with your family or whoever is at home with you. Then take breaks. If you're very busy during the day, learn to stand up from your seat, walk around, come back, learn to stretch. It's very, very important. Then have friends around, like mind, seek support. You can't walk a true life alone. So seek support, have your inner circle of friends that hold your same spiritual value, moral values, have them around, and these things to be able to help you. So I hope that you've gotten value from everything that I've been able to say today. Sorry, I was rushing to be able to meet up at the time. Hope you've this, because knowledge without action is actually nothing, but knowledge with action is real power. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you.
Wow, wow, wow. Please, let's give a round of applause. I know it's audio clap. Please, just do it on the chat. Like, that was powerful. I've just been writing. I say, hey, they have stolen me physical exercise. I'm one of them. And the part she said, if you are busy, that you are busy does not mean you're hardworking. Hey, check it. Check what is engaging you so much that you are busy does not mean you are hardworking. That one is boom on my head. Thank you so much. That was really insightful. Thank you. I didn't want you to stop, but then we have to keep the time as well. Thank you. It was really insightful. Thank you so much. So yes, I hope we're taking notes. Your notes is full. Please ensure that, don't worry, the audio will be available. The audio will be available, the video will be available. You can go back to it. Just ensure that you take your health serious. Like she said so many things. If I show you my notes, it's full. I've been writing. Like pay attention to your nutrition. Don't eat meat by every day. Pay attention to your nutrition. It's amazing. Thank you so much. So let's have our second speaker. If you have your questions, please drop it in the chat and she will attend to them as soon as we get to the panel section. So be calling on our second speaker, DK Jonah. You have the floor. Are you there? Oh,
Hello.
yes.
Thank you so much for having me. I didn't want her to stop. I'm like, she's actually speaking facts. So thank you so much for the session. I think I was learning, even if you think you understand the topic, and I'm like, do I need to say anything after she said this? She's going to address all the issues. But it's wonderful learning about so much about not being busy. I always say that don't be busy being busy. I am not getting results. So I had a wonderful time listening to my colleagues speak to you. Now, let's see what we are going to talk about. So we're going to be talking about mental health again, and the conversation is one that we cannot over talk about. So sometimes we're like, this topic has been done justice to, but really, as it, if we are all aware that mental health struggles are real, then why are we still struggling with it? So my topic is simple. I've called it Beyond Awareness. And we'll be talking about practical steps to improve your mental health and overall wellness. And the aim is simple. I want us to go beyond awareness, go beyond talking about it, and kind of take a different strategy, a different approach that combines most of what she was saying with a framework that works especially for you. So I think I have 25 minutes or 20 minutes. I wrote 25 minutes, so I'm hoping it's 25. But for the next 25 minutes, I'm going to have your attention. And there are a couple of things you cannot control. So I'm your teacher. You can't control my slides, whether they are beautiful, whether they are ugly. You can't control that. You can't control my pace, whether I'm too slow, whether I'm too fast. Madam, you can't just rewind me or fast forward me. You can't control the topics that I have. If you think I'm boring or interesting, you cannot control that. However, there are certain things you can control within this period. The first one being your attention. You do yourself a disservice for coming for a session like this and listening to the first speaker and me speak, and then not paying full attention to what is going on. You can control your notes. Your notes are yours because you're sharing your perspective as you learn. So take notes all the time. You can control your attitude towards this, whether you are like, I think Fakemi said this, and some people say, oh, I don't have mental health issues. At this point in time, as you've come into this place, come with the attitude that I'm willing to learn and I'm willing to make changes. You can control the effort you put into this session because you're going to get a quiz. So you're going to control your effort. And most importantly, you can control yourself. Being in the present, not trying to rush and make sure everything goes fast, but ensuring that you are taking in what is being said in order for you to make an informed decision about what to do with your mental health. So, what should you expect from today? I'm going to be talking about why awareness is not enough. I will introduce you to something I call the Life Sync Cluster. We'll talk a little bit about wellness. We'll talk about something I call PACE. That's where the quiz comes in. And what's best next? Because now that you have all this information and you are always having access to information, what do you do? So for those that were not here when Fakemi read my bio, I would just say, I classify myself as these 5 things. I'm the author of No Gragra, which is about slowing down in order to go fast. As Nigerians, we like things being done in a rush. So No Gragra is about slowing down. I'm a podcast host, a founder. I have a brand called Amplify the Gospel. So I'm a Christian. I've got the Steadfast Creative, a community that we are running to help people stay steadfast in what they do. Now, this is something that happens to most people. When it comes to talking about mental health, we are in denial. But what do you do when life forces you to stop? You lose control. But is this the end? So I'll share a bit of story with you. I was going to do a PhD because I like reading and studying, from you can tell from my slides. And that was my plan. I had no plan B. You know, some people say, oh, what's your plan A, plan B, plan C? I had no intention of becoming an entrepreneur. No plan B, no plan C. And life happens, I couldn't do it anymore. But that wasn't the end of everything. Why? Because I learned gradually to take ownership of not just myself. I learned to take ownership of what I let into my life. So some people will have said that is the end. Many people felt that was the end, that, okay, now in 2015, you've decided you're not doing a PhD again. So why do you have 3 degrees and you're not using it? So people will speak and say things about you. At that point in time, I was losing a lot of weight. I wasn't able to read. I wasn't able to write. I wasn't able to assimilate information because of medical reasons. And that can impact your mental health. Because if you're struggling with something and you've been stuck in the same position for a long time, it has a negative impact on your mental health. And sometimes we wish we can pray it away. We're like, it's not me, I'll pray it away. We think that, this too shall pass. So we ignore it, we repress it. But the truth is this. When asked, when a survey was done, similar to what Fakemi did, 81% of people believe that mental health services are important, but there are 18 or 19% that are unsure. But there's been an increase in the number of people taking mental health screening from 2019 to 2020. And it's not because of COVID only, but it was an increase of 93%. That tells us something. People are becoming more aware, but we still don't have the support system to help people struggling with mental health issues. We have a situation where stress and mental health issues affect people directly or indirectly. Some people say they are not affected. Like I said, some people want to pray it away. So 72% of entrepreneurs are affected by mental health. And I want to let you know that these are statistics that did not just come from one person. They are statistics that are proven by the World Bank, I say World Bank, WHO, and other organizations. And 28% of people say they are not impacted by stress or mental health. So it shows you this entrepreneurship versus non-entrepreneurs has a lot of impact on your mental health. I'm speaking as one. The truth is, if you have a 9 to 5, when you finish your job, you get paid. But if you have if you're an entrepreneur and you have a team, you're paying people. You are stressed 24/7. So all of you that have a 9 to 5 and are like, oh, I want to leave my 9 to 5 and become an entrepreneur. Don't. Do not. I think you should just stay where you are, and that will kind of help you. Because non-entrepreneurs, 48% are indirectly or directly affected by mental health issues, while 52% are not. When you are in charge of your own source of income, when you are in charge of every single thing, your worth is determined by how people perceive you. You're sending proposals every day. And don't get me started on the rejection. Entrepreneurs face more rejection now than ever because they don't need someone else to pay their bills. They have to pay their bills. They don't need a job, but they need someone else to approve their work. And some people just don't pay on time, no matter what. If you design logos here, tell me how many times you've designed logos and somebody will just reject it in 2 seconds without even taking anything into consideration. So what we're going to highlight with this conversation is this. While awareness is crucial, it doesn't stop at awareness. So the reason I called it beyond awareness is because we need to focus on practical things that we could do in order for us to be in a better position to make informed decisions. Now, I like having an interactive class. So I'm going to pose a few questions and I want you to let me know in the chat. How many of you have set goals in your life at all? How many of you have set goals in your life? Let me know in the chat. Nobody here has set goals. Wow. Okay. How many of you have set goals at any point in time in your life? That's a tough one. I was scared. I'm like, what? So yes, a couple of people have set goals in the past, but most of the time we set goals about, the hands are being raised. Okay, fantastic. Now that's better. Most of the time we set goals for one area of our life, our personal development, our career progression. We forget that our life has to be in sync and there are different clusters of our life. We won't go into details about the clusters because that's another conversation for another day. However, the clusters that people need to set goals for are a few, like family. You set goals for your family, your career, definitely your health, which is where we're focusing on. Romance, finances, education, friends, travel, spiritual, recreation. Many people don't even set goals for recreation because as Nigerians, we're not even taught to relax. But today, I'm not just going to talk about all these things. I'm going to talk about the mental health part because we talk about our overall body. And my first speaker, Adewole, spoke about that. We don't really take care of our mental health. Everybody tells you be fit. So we don't need to talk about fitness. There are a lot of fitness enthusiasts there. Everybody is paying for gym every day. In fact, jumping bus in Nigeria alone is a fitness strategy because by the time you run around, you take care of your physical health better than you take care of your mental health. Our mental health is something we ignore completely. And something else, we try to do a one-size-fits-all approach to mental health. So awareness is not enough because if awareness was enough, all of us would be taking care of it. There has to be an understanding. We have to move from awareness to acceptance to action. And this takes a lot of guts, but it also takes having a roadmap because awareness doesn't reduce the stigma. When we talk, said, oh, we're talking about mental health, many people say that I'm not mad. There's a stigma with mental health. Awareness hasn't stopped us from struggling. It hasn't stopped us from struggling at all. It just hasn't. Unfortunately, it hasn't. We wish it had, but it hasn't. And that's the truth. And the last one is, question is, do people know where to start when it comes to their mental health? So you are aware that you should be doing something, but do you actually know what your starting point should be when you're talking about mental health struggles? Most people have an idea, but they really don't know what the starting point should be. And that's where we come in. That's where we're about to have a conversation. Like I said, I like my sessions being conversational. So although awareness has done a couple of things, unlike previous generations, awareness has helped us to deal with the stigma a little bit. Awareness has increased awareness has led to the reduction in stigma. Despite this, many people continue to struggle with mental health issues. There's loneliness that comes with creative work. As a creative, I've been in the creative industry on and off since 2011. And as a creative, you struggle because technology is going fast. Everything is moving so fast. And you are trying to keep up, especially now. You're dealing with imposter syndrome already. You're trying to get recognition and validation. The environment is competitive. Before, you were competing with only people that were close to you. Now you're competing with somebody in another country that may not even speak English because you are doing a tech job. They can just fit into the role if they know what needs to be done. You're competing with certain people that you may never even meet. How do you position yourself so that you can be the best version of yourself and move from just saying, I'm aware that I have this thing, but create impact for yourself? And the question I ask you is, how well do you know yourself? And this question will come in handy later. Do you know how you learn? Do you know how you react in certain situations? There's sometimes some things happen. Let me tell you, let me give you just, there's sometimes some things happen and some people will say, it can never be me. I would never react in that way. Until you go through that situation, that's when you will know how you will react. And in your field, you want to be the best in your field. You want to know your values. You want to know how you see the world. You want to know how the world sees you, because there's a perception you have of yourself that everyone else may not have about you. So how well do you know yourself? And I'll help you out a little bit because, like I said, we're talking about slowing down to go fast. So let's slow down a little bit and we're going to take a quiz. So if you have your phone, please scan this QR code, and Fakemi or Emmanuel, you could help me put the link to the quiz in the chat so people can take the quiz and then we can discuss the results or the impact. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Fakemi. So this is a quiz that will help you understand the way you are as a creative. So whether you're an entrepreneur, you have a 9 to 5, I believe everybody is creative. I believe everybody has a gift and that gift can be used in a wonderful way. I believe that sometimes the misuse of your gift can lead to you struggling without you even knowing that you're struggling. So if you can show me by raising your hands, if you have access to the quiz now, please, let's get started. So let's take it for a couple of minutes. And then when we're done, we'll be able to come back and continue the session. If you can't scan it, make use of the link. So if you're on your mobile phone and you're listening, make use of the link. So I'll be explaining why I created this quiz while we're doing that. But if you can't scan, make use of the link. So I just checked the link is active. So that's what I was checking that time, because I want to make sure that you can access it from your mobile phone also. So let's get started. Has anybody started taking the quiz? And co-host, please, you could help me out if you're in.
Yes, I'm in. I'm trying to read the questions.
Oh, fantastic. So one person is in. That's what we want to hear. And I have just a few more minutes after this, but it will help you understand, not to worry. Thank you.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So it's working. Is anyone else taking the quiz? And I will explain why I want you to take the quiz while you're doing it. So the quiz is to help you understand that when it comes to dealing with mental health issues, it's about creating a personal system for yourself with the support of a practitioner. So you are not struggling in silence and trying to do what works for someone else. I'm an introvert. So what works for me, being quiet, sitting with myself, is great. But an extrovert may need something entirely different from me. We all have different personalities. And in order for us to move beyond awareness, we need to understand that it is not about a one-size-fits-all approach. You take the best of both worlds. We talked about walking. Some people can walk, some people can run on a treadmill, some people can lift. That's still moving your body. So you're moving your body, moving your mind. You're doing journaling. So it could be guided journaling. It could be freestyle journaling. So you free write. Everybody has what works for them. Some people cannot write, so they will talk. So there are apps you can use and you talk about your day and you reflect. It's not one size fits all. It's not one size fits all. So everybody has the things that they do. Okay, I think we've got a few more seconds and then we can move on from the quiz. So, Bakemi, how is that going? How many more minutes should I give people for this?
I
Should
guess
I have music? Should I have
maybe
music
1
playing?
minute.
Sorry?
I said maybe 1 minute.
Okay, so we'll give you 1 minute to go through it. And hopefully everyone is going through it.
Someone said the quiz is lengthy.
Yes, but I will give you 2 minutes and then I'll play music. So music help to
Okay.
want to do your quiz. So let's do that. And the reason it's lengthy is we've tried different approaches that are kind of shortcuts. We want a situation that what we're doing is in depth. We're no longer looking at surface level. I want a situation where you're not taking shortcuts. No shortcuts. No shortcuts. Just true, authentic, being yourself and working with yourself, not against who you are. So yes, it is lengthy. Take your time. We'll play music if the host allows me, and then we will continue. Is that okay with you?
Yes, please. Yes, you can do it.
All right. You may not like my choice of music, but you can't control it.
How many butter you go wear? How many bags you go buy? Anything you want, make you tell me. I'm all I people, boy, I can be your man. What kind of food do you eat? Share no fair, take you see. Anything you want, make you tell me. I'm all I people, boy, I can be your man. So do you like what you see? I'm the type of moko that can pay your bills. Anything you want, just let me know. I'm all I need, I can.
Oh, Identity is done with the quiz. Fantastic.
That is what I say.
We'll give everyone else 2 minutes with the host permission, and then we'll take it from there.
Baby, I'll make it work. That is why I say, my love will never die. If you want me, I go try. Baby, I'll make it work. Yeah, I'll make it work. So when I say, do you feel my pain? She say, all I keep I they feel your pain. Feel your anything you want, you can tell me. I'm all I keep I can be your man. Yeah, I can be your friend. Toba Joe would have fair. Sorry, I told him I go away. Anything you want, make you tell me. I'm all I need, I can be your man. That is why I say love. If you want me, I go try. Try. Maybe I'll make it work. Maybe I'll make it work. That is why I say love. My love will never die. If you want me, I go try. Maybe I'll make it work. Make it work. It could go. Sha-la-la, ewa, shoti go. Bibi, batifa, ikawa atele.
Oh, so we have more people done. Fantastic. VC is done. We've got 2 people that are done. All right. So, what do you say? Do we give 1 more minute, or are you done?
I'm actually not done myself. Maybe one.
Like
One
I
more
said,
minute.
we'll understand why we have to do it this way. Don't worry. You're all good.
If you want me, I go try. That is why I say
Okay, I was like 1 song, but we will start the other song partially. But welcome to DJ DK's booth. We wear multiple hats as creatives.
Why do they ask me if I love you? After all of the things where I don't do, you suppose know by now. Why do they ask me if I miss you? If you know they by my side, it didn't mean like say I won't die. You suppose know by now. Say now only you will get.
Okay, so you're all done now, so I can stop being a DJ. Thank you. Awesome. So I want to know who got what. Let me know your responses in the chat. Who got what? What did you get? So the first song was by Deepo. The second song is by Bez. They're both Covenant people. So I played their songs. Okay. You got over Sabi. Not bad. Good. Who else? Just tell me in the chat. Don't be shy. This is not a time to be shy. This is a time for you to know where you are, and don't see it as a dig to you that you got over Sabi. That's what I want to say. Sometimes when you get certain things, you are going to be like, that's not me. But I will explain, and I'm sure you've read what it is. So it's called the PACE framework. Now the pace, we have the oversabis in the house. I was an oversabi before. That's where I fell. All right. So we have the PACE framework, which starts for progression, achievement, clarity, and excellence. And in this framework, just picture this. There are certain people that exist in the world. There are some people that are compensated properly and those that are undercompensated. And there are those that have a voice and those that make noise. So you can see from it, the noise is out, but you can see from the diagram there, they are 4 different categories of people. So the first one is Johnny Just Come. These people are ambitious, they are creative, they have an idea what they want, but there's a problem somewhere because of their lack of experience. So they're not seen by the right people. That's why we say they are making noise in the industry, because in order for you to be recognized, you want to be seen by the right people, not by everybody. There are some skit makers that are everywhere, but nobody respects them. They make little or no consistent income. So they can make 100,000 naira in January. They don't make money till, in fact, November. They are busy but unproductive. They are never free. They are very busy all the time. They lack of credibility because no one knows them. They may be great, but nobody knows them. And they're constantly moving, but not making progress. So that's why I said they have noise and they're undercompensated. And with these people, what you see is there's high stress due to financial instability. So they want to get their money up, so they are willing to take any shot because sometimes they don't want to learn. They have low self-esteem from lack of recognition. They're like, I've built this app, I've built this. Why is nobody thinking about me? They have anxiety from constant busyness without results. Do you know how frustrating it is for you to be busy 24/7 and you are getting no results? So that's why I said they are noise and they are undercompensated. Then we have the next category of people, which is the jack of all trades. This one, they are making the money. They are making money. Anything you want, they are there, but you don't recognize them as a specialist. No one respects them in the industry as the person you should look up to. So if it's in the photographic industry, nobody will say, if this guy does a photo shoot, it is fantastic, you must bring him. But they are making money. They are making good money, but what they want is recognition. What they want is respect. They are not getting it. But they are seen as a generalist because they are everywhere but nowhere. They are very skilled and they have multiple potentials. What do they struggle with? Now, you can take a screenshot of any page. So I forgot to say that. Take a screenshot because I won't be providing the slides. So the Johnny Just Come. Let's take a screenshot if we want it so you can see it and you can reflect on it with your team. Then we have the the jolt. Jack of all trades. It's not a goat, it's a joke. You know that sometimes when you say somebody is the greatest of all time, no, he isn't. He's struggling with juggling multiple roles. He's frustrated from lack of targeted recognition and burnout from switching between one task to the other all the time. And if you've taken the quiz, you will see the other things that he has. But those are the things I'm highlighting. The ITK, the I too know, think about this person. They are people that when you see them, you're like, this person should be earning more than they're getting. There are some of you that are like that. The money you should be getting is not what you're getting at all. But everybody respects you in the industry. They don't know that your pocket is flat. They see you as this flashy person that everybody looks up to, but deep down inside, you're like, I am not getting paid what I am worth. They're not respected enough for people to want to pay their premium charges. So they tell somebody, oh, my charge is $1,000. The person is like, I'll pay you 100. Because they don't respect you. They know you're good, but they don't respect you enough to pay you what you're worth. And they're struggling to translate that recognition, that voice that they have, that respect they have in the industry into financial success. So because of this, they are dealing with frustration from lack of financial reward, stress from maintaining visibility without financial backing, feeling undervalued despite being well known. So you can see at every stage you are struggling with specific things. Why I wanted you to take the quiz is for you to see that trying to do a one-size-fits-all, that was what awareness did. Now, to make your own tailor-made solution, you need to know who you are and where you are and what your struggles are. If you are the one that has been in the industry, but you feel that you're still getting JJC, it's because of certain things that you've struggled with. So don't say, oh, but I've been in the industry for a while. No, mental health struggles are real. Some of us just want to be paid. Some of us are paid, but nobody likes us. Think about it. You can think about any artist, any creative, anybody in your industry. There are some people that you will pay, but you don't respect them at all. So then what do we want to get to? We want to get to the I Sabi archetype. Now, the reason I called it I Sabi is because this person knows themselves, knows their worth, they are being paid. People recognize them, they're a voice in the industry. They understand that they will have mental health struggles, so they are not in denial. So they have put mechanisms in place to help them deal with those struggles. But you cannot question their credibility. You cannot even charge them anything. As if you want to use their services, you'll be like, I need to get my money up because this person is worth everything. So that's what we call the I Sabi. Even if they're in the tech industry, when you see them, they're sleek. If they're wearing their t-shirt, you'll be like, this t-shirt is fantastic. If they decide to dress up, they dress up well. They know what to do. They know that every environment I find myself, I have to present myself in this way. And something else that they know, nobody can tell me what to do. I know who I am. I know what I want to do. And that's the I Sabi person, because this person embodies the pinnacle of professional excellence. They have the influence, they have the expertise, and they give exceptional results. There are some photographers, you see their work and you're like, you're taking my next picture. But there are some photographers that I say some people are point and kill or point and shoot photographers. They just point the camera at you and they shoot. So every industry has these people that we look up to. I'm not going to be mentioning names of people in the industry that are in different categories, but think about it yourself. They've not only mastered their craft, but they've mastered themselves. They're thinking about continuous growth and self-awareness. They're not dwelling on past glory. There are some people that when you see them talking, you're like, you're still dwelling on past glory. You've not even improved yourself. But they understand that continuous learning is important. Mentorship is important. And they need to maintain a balanced perspective. What are the things that they have? Their work is exceptional, like I said. They are very innovative and they are reliable. Now, most of you are defensive after taking this, that me, I'm not ITK, I'm not this, I'm not that. However, it's okay to be defensive before we finish this conversation. But at the end of this conversation, I don't want you to be defensive. I want you to see that whatever we're talking about is taking you to that I Sabi place. Where where you are not the one that says I Sabi. Everybody else knows that this person Sabi their work. There are people like that you'll be like, they don't need to talk in order for you to see their effectiveness. But the thing that most people deal with is denial. They will say, no, be me. God forbid. It's not my portion. Back to sender. I am not struggling with mental health issues. I am not over Sabi. I am not ITK. I am not this. These are archetypes of describing where you are now, not the entirety of who you are. So if you understand that, you will understand this, that denial is a psychological defense mechanism that you're having at this point in time. Because sometimes people, and I was like this before, people refuse to accept reality or facts, leading to a disconnect from their true feelings and needs. I remember the first time I had to go for therapy, I was like, God forbid, I can never go, I can never call. I called my pastor and I was basically saying, I'm a Christian, so why should I be struggling? And he said, if it's your body, won't you take care of it? Most of us don't do MOT for our mind. We can go for yearly checkup because we understand that is good. But when it comes to our mind, we are in denial. And these are the characteristics of denial. You are avoiding reality. Like I said, you're saying, God forbid. There's this self-deception that you have about yourself. Then you are blaming your village people. You are blaming that teacher that did not like you. You are blaming every single person but yourself. Then sometimes you minimize the impact of every single thing. It's just once in a while. When it's time to face reality, you are still looking at yourself as, it's just a small thing now. It's only just once in a while I lose my temper. You are trying to rationalize it and defend it. Then you are projecting on other people, and sometimes this idealization. Because of time, we won't go into this in so much detail. But that's the truth. People are struggling. And when you are in denial, this is what happens. There's delayed treatment. Instead of you to focus on what is wrong and deal with it, When they say it's teaching time saves 9, this is what I understand by that idiom. You have a big or small hole, you refuse to take care of it, it keeps expanding and expanding and expanding. Before you know it, your favorite shokoto, you cannot wear it again. So delayed treatment impacts your body. Remember what I talked about, different clusters in your life. Once your mind is not taken care of, that cluster suffers. Then it affects your decision making. You are making decisions that you should not make. The worst time you can make a decision is when you're stressed. And when you're desperate, because it leads to desperation. Most decisions I have made as a businesswoman, when I'm desperate, I regretted it. Most people I have given opportunities to get discounts because I needed that 100,000 naira to pay salary or something. I have ended up regretting it. There's increased stress and anxiety because I was in denial. Your performance is bad. Clients are talking to you. You are just performing badly. There's stagnation in your personal growth. You're not even growing. You try to work, there's brain freeze. And as creatives, our most powerful tool is our mind. Because this is where we sit down with our thoughts and bring people's ideas to life. As a coach, I have seen this repeatedly, where people are burnt out completely, like my other colleague said, and they are unable to work at all. And you're like, you used to be great, but what happened? And you try to start working with it, with them through it. But there is a problem. They cannot see it. And it now impacts the relationship they have with others. So once you are in denial, it's not just impacting you, it's impacting others. And if you don't take care of the problem, what will happen? So we talk about practical steps to tackle mental health issues. And we'll talk about practical steps a little bit. Sometimes when I did no gragra, and I forced myself to slow down, the truth is I was getting faster. When it comes to managing your mental health, it starts with managing your time and making time for mental health. I always said, you have to create time to create, but you also have to create time to rest. So the practical steps have been discussed by my colleagues, so I won't go into too much details about them. But what I want to say is stand up for yourself, for your mind. Show up for your mind. Take this issue with your mind as the most precious thing you can. I'm Christian, so the Bible said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. In your mind, there is so much going on that sometimes you fail to realize it. There's only one thing I will say as a practical step. There's something I tell my team to do, which is called a mindless flow. Now, a mindless flow can be done either before work or when you're stressed. And it's simply this. Put pen to paper. Once your pen touches that paper, you are not allowed to raise your hands for 15 minutes. You are writing whatever comes to your mind. You are not thinking about who's going to mark it, whether you are correct grammatically, whether you are sounding good, nothing like that. You are just focused on pouring out your heart. Sometimes before we start working, we are so stressed. Just imagine you finish jumping bus, conductor took your change, Okada, rain was falling, and then you just enter and then you want to start working immediately. Your mind is too busy. So you need to control that busyness by letting it out. Albert Einstein said there's no need cramming what can be written. And I totally support that. We want to cram things. We want to do things. We don't want to do things the right way. As freelancers, you are not really free. This is what I mean. We think that, oh, I will do this whenever I will do it later. The client has given me, the next minute you are rushing. You are not even allowing yourself go through your creative process. What is your creative process? Do you have one? How well have you sat with yourself to listen to yourself and embrace silence? So these are a couple of things that you need to do. However, the next step after discovering all these things, what I want you to do is roll. So everybody write ROAR or put lion emojis so that I know that you're still listening. And if I don't see an emoji, I will not continue. If I don't see a chat, we're going to this thing. The last chat says the worst time to make a decision is when you are stressed. So that means people cannot hear me again. To show me that you're listening, put raw in the chat or an emoji. And I'll be patient because you can see what's there. Oh, fantastic. The chats are coming in. Good. Oh, I got a lion. Fantastic. In fact, my next time I'm doing this, I'm going to roar like a lion. What's best next is for you to take to roar. And it means for you to reflect. I call something pause and reflect. And this simply means that you need to sit down with yourself in silence. I've created a worksheet for you that would help you to look about denial, but there are other things that you can do. We even have a workshop this evening. That's true. I should have sent for the link. We have a workshop this evening on creating what I call your methodical action plan that helps you to plan properly for the things that you want to do, especially that goal you want to achieve. But you need to sit down and reflect on the past, ask yourself deep questions. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? How many times do I get corrections by clients about my spellings? Okay, where am I today? You're doing what I call a way audit about where are you? How did you get there? Because you can't move forward if you don't look back. So this gives you an opportunity to actually look back and then take ownership. Don't be in denial. We've talked about denial. Most of us, when we even reflect, we're like, hey, is everybody? No, take ownership. Understand that you have to play an active role, not a passive role in your own mental health fight. No one is going to come down for you. No one is going to do the work for you. I can act as your coach and guide you. Welcome them can give you things that could help you. Adewole can give you ideas, but the person that has to do the work is you, nobody else. So you have to be intentional and you have to have discipline, but it starts with ownership. Ownership doesn't stop. You have to take action. Some of us want to act in the future. Please write this down and let me see that you put it in your notes. Later is not a time on the clock. Later is not a time on a date on the calendar. Most of the time we say we will do things later when we don't intend to do it. Part of taking ownership is understanding that most times, so many of us will rather let ourselves down than let others down. There are certain goals you've set for yourself. There are certain things that you said you want to do. But because no one knew about it, you don't take action. And when you take action, don't stop there. You need to review it. Review the actions that you've taken. So overcoming denial worksheet, like I said, take a screenshot and you can work on this worksheet later. You don't need to work on it now because it forces you to sit down with yourself and all those questions you answered, it forces you to sit down and actually reflect on it. When you want to overcome denial, you don't take a soft approach. You don't take a casual approach. You set a time on the calendar, a date on the calendar and a specific time. You eliminate all these distractions and you sit down with yourself and get to work. Your mental health is dependent on you. Everybody is struggling, but if everybody is in denial, don't be in denial. Don't be in denial at all. Accept where you are and take action. And that action must not be taken once. It has to be taken consistently. Now, there's something that we've all lost, and that's the lost act of reflection. Most of us don't reflect. I reflect in 3 ways. I do weekly, midweek, and at the end of the week. Some of us go through life without sitting down with ourselves. And what we do in the community is we try and set up these times where there's something that we call the week ahead, where we're able to plan for the week ahead, but also look at the last week. Most of us don't sit with our emotions. Culturally, we're not taught to be angry. So we hold back certain things and it leads to resentment. So when it comes to reflection, it's the act of looking back. You can take a screenshot of this page because I think my time is up. Falakemi, how many seconds do I have left? I've got 5 slides left. But the essence of it, sorry?
I said 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm good with time then. Okay, because I'm done. This is my last slide. The power of reflection, the art of looking back. You need to look back to move forward. It's a mirror to your experiences. You are making decisions on data, your data. Not any other person's data, your data. You know yourself more than any other person. In the art of war, Sun Tzu says that if you're going to war, I know you're not going to war, so don't worry about that. In the art of war, Sun Tzu said that when you're going to war, the person that knows themselves may win. The person that knows themselves and knows their enemy will surely win. The ones that know their enemy and don't know themselves, 50-50 chance. You want to give yourself 100% chance of winning because the world is competitive. The world is not waiting for us. The world is not kind. So we need to be kind to ourselves, but we need to learn how to meditate. We need to go from just talking about our awareness. We need to go and think about this. So when I think about your personal growth equation, and this is something that is for you as you're trying to grow and improve yourself, it's simply this. Knowledge is not enough. You need to take action. It doesn't stop at action. There has to be consistency. This is where most people miss it. So they are aware and they do it once and then they stop and then they start struggling mentally because it did not work. But when you are consistent, it doesn't stop there. There is reflection. You have to create time to reflect. It's a lost art. Most of us are running. We haven't taken time to sit with ourselves and actually reflect and say, how did I do? We only reflect when things do not work. You're making information based on your own data. Whether things are working and things are not working, that's not your business. Your reflection is scheduled. And when you reflect and you see, oh, I need to make changes, then you adapt. That is the way you bridge your gap. That's the way you're going to find yourself going to the person that is respected in the industry and properly compensated. Every creative deserves to be paid, but they don't deserve to be paid just once. They deserve consistent income. So do you. And in order for you to do that, you need to be very honest with yourself. You need to sit with yourself. Remember what we said. We started with talking about the different ways where awareness is not enough. Then we talked about the life clusters, life sync cluster, where you're looking at goals in different areas of your life. I said I wasn't going to look at the fitness. I wasn't going to look at the overall body. My focus was on the mind. Because if you have malaria, you would take, when you notice malaria symptoms, all of us just start taking medicine. We become pharmacists. But when you notice yourself breaking down, you do nothing about it. Then we talked about the PACE framework, where we said there's the JJC, there's the JOLT, there's the ITK, and there is ISABI. That is where we all want to be. So even if you're in any position today, there is a way for you to go to that place you want to be and be the best version of yourself. It requires discipline. It requires you to work. It requires you to be consistent, but most importantly, it requires you to know yourself more than any other person. So you're not in denial if you're struggling, because struggles are real. And being in denial and trying to keep face in front of others doesn't make you grow. In order for you to grow, you have to open your mind up. You have to be willing to do that. And you have to understand that you have to leverage what you have. You already have the skill set. You already have the network. But you may not see the worth of these things you have. It's time to see the worth of the things you have. And I mentioned earlier that I have a workshop this evening. I didn't put anything up about it. What I was just going to say is, talk about is leverage, which is a newsletter that we have that helps people, creatives, to become more productive. And it's about you unfolding your potential to realize that there's a lot hidden, but you need to be systemic and use what we call a methodical action plan. So part of that is a workshop we have this evening. I'll send a link to Folakemi later, but I want to say thank you for your time.
Wow. That was amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you. We are really grateful. That was very good. So I'll just tell everyone to keep the link. Please, let's send our thank you. Yes, the worksheet link. Okay, very engaging. I agree. Totally agree with that. Thank you so much. It was very insightful. I really like to go back to that first sheet we worked on. Yes. Let's sit down. The Ovasabi people, wave to the hair. Yeah, but I like the teaching. It was powerful. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Temilolu has to go, so I'm trying to add, if you have any question for her, you can just send it to her on IG. Yes, you can go, ma. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. She really needs to go and pick her children. So thank you. Any question for Temilolu Adewole, you can just send it to our IG handle. I'll send our IG handle shortly. So yes, if you have questions, I know you've been writing since, so it's time for questions. I know we've extended our time by 5 minutes. Just give us 5 to 10 minutes and we'll be done. So if you have any question, we'll take just 1 or 2 so that we don't keep our speaker too long. So any question, let me go to the chat. Any question, any question? Me, I have question if there's nobody going to ask. Okay, we can hear you, DK.
I'm going to say if they don't have questions, I will ask questions, but you've rescued everybody. So I'm going to start asking questions. I'll be like, hey,
Okay.
Franca, okay, what do you think about the concept of? That's what I was going to start doing, but you've rescued everybody. So what's your question?
Okay, so I have lots of questions. Let me just see which. Please give me a few minutes. You can drop your question if you have them while I drop mine. Okay, someone has dropped questions.
Okay, so we have 2 questions from BC. Question 1, in what ways can remote work, which is prevalent in the tech industry, influence feelings of isolation and loneliness? I think this is my question.
Okay.
So, most people don't know, I run a remote team, and I think a couple of my teammates will be here. And we started in 2016. So we started remote work before remote work became crazy. And that was just very confusing. Most people are used to being social. As an introvert, I loved it, but I realized that people on my team were struggling, especially the extroverts. So remote work can be lonely, and it is lonely because as a creative, sometimes you want to bounce off your idea off someone, but you've not built a relationship with people. When I used to work in the bank, we go into the office, we interact, we engage. So people are missing that piece of building communal relationships. So you have to be intentional about building it. So what we do is different, but what I will say is this. I want you to have a time. So even if you're working remotely and they give you freedom to do things, always understand that you need to work on your time management and your task management. Not all tasks carry the same weight. There are some tasks that require maximum attention. There are some tasks that require minimum attention. And because you're working remotely, you are trying to impress somebody that cannot see you, that may never connect with you physically. So you need to be able to impress them with your work, but also with your communication skills. So what are you going to do so that you don't get frustrated and you don't get lonely? If your office has a culture of an office hour, attend your office hours. We do virtual co-working sessions. Our virtual co-working sessions were created to battle this issue of loneliness, because I realized that when it comes to creative work, even if you are being the one that is a graphic designer, you may just want to engage and interact with other people. And that's not a problem. What you need to do is, first of all, understand yourself. Are you the type that needs to thrive in a community? You can go to a physical co-working place, but most of us as creatives, we don't have that money. Because most of the things that we call a third place, you have to pay to go in. And we cannot afford to spend our coins on going into these places. So let's use virtual rooms, let's join groups, let's join activities, and let's participate. Most of the time when we join groups and communities, we want the group and community to be the ones to participate and tell us every single thing to do. Play an active role, not a passive role. In my team, we used to have these days where we just come and rant. I would say everybody just rant about every single thing. Rant. Don't keep it to your chest. Rant as much as possible. Go into these communities and start meaningful conversations. Another way you can battle the issue of loneliness is having work hours. So we split hours into 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. You can do that for yourself. There are virtual co-working communities apart from mine that you come on, you switch your camera and you are working in silence. So we have those deep work days, we have conversation days. It's because humans are tailored to be communal. They are built to be communal. Stop being in denial that you need that community. And you have a community in this HOSTNOWNOW also. Engage with people in the community. Build intentional friendships. How to Win Friends and Influence People is a great book for you to read because it will teach you how to communicate. Because most tech people don't know how to communicate. because you are behind the screen and you're not dealing with anybody but family. You don't know how to communicate. And then in your family, nobody even understands the work that you do. So you may not get paid for a while and they're wondering, but you're always pressing computer morning, afternoon, evening. So you are dealing with negative comments consistently. Nobody around you understands what you're doing. That impacts you and even leads to more loneliness and isolation. So you want to lock yourself up because you cannot interact with any other person. Join a community, play an active role. If you want to join our virtual co-working team, I think somebody on my team is here. Just send them an email to info@nogragra and we'll talk. But yeah, in what ways can working long hours and the lack of work-life balance impact the mental health of tech workers? It impacts the mental health, especially if you enjoy what you're doing. So you've been coding, you're enjoying it, you're just in front of the computer, you've disconnected from the world completely. And you are thriving and you are enjoying it. That itself is a problem. I'm not saying don't enjoy the work you do. I'm saying that you need to be disciplined and create time for certain things. So I have time that I will connect with my friends virtually. I'm part of a mastermind. We talk and we are always encouraging each other to go beyond the work. So although we are learning, because technology is changing, things are changing, you have to learn. Although we are doing other things, we also understand that there has to be balance. And we understand that the way we are wired is different. So my friend that is an extrovert has to go for events, go for things, and she finds herself going out. But going out is expensive. So if you want to have work-life balance, that doesn't mean you need to spend money. Sometimes work-life balance is reminding yourself that at 6 p.m., I will go for a walk down the road and then come back in. If you're a guy, play football. If you want to join the gym, join the gym. Do something that will take you out of the house if possible. And if you have the capacity, do activities in the church or in the mosque. Look for communities that you can be part of. Be intentional about the communities you join because you have to guard your heart and they have to be in line with your values. But as a tech worker, have working hours. Have working hours. Once in a while, you can work on a project and get distracted. Lucky and I were doing that this weekend, but have working hours is what I will say. How can tech companies create a supportive work culture that prioritizes mental health and well-being? I think tech companies can do that by when they do their check-in calls, they are not only focused on what you did wrong. Most of the time, before our managers talk to us is when we failed, when we didn't meet a deadline, and the words that they say kind impact us. Because creative work, when you create with your hand and with your mind, and somebody just comes and dismisses it completely, it hurts. So you have to have an avenue to be able to let people communicate with each other without it being based on work. Number two, as managers, you have to be intentional about not only calling out what the person is not doing well, but what's the person doing well? There must be something good about this person that you brought the person on board. People will go through mental health things, and as a manager, you have to wear multiple roles. So the company can set good rules, but it's implemented by the managers. Now, for example, I tell my people to come and do some ranting days, and none of them will want to talk. But then as a manager, you are intentionally encouraging people, getting people to talk. Like I said, I'm an introvert. I didn't used to talk like this before. When I started dealing with human beings virtually, I had to start learning that, you know what, the same way I gist with my people at home is the same way I can gist with these people. So we have that kind of laid back culture where we can actually have a conversation. So it's not like, oh, madam is in the room, we cannot talk. So it depends on the organizations, because most tech organizations, they claim to be very inclusive, they claim to be free, they claim that, oh, this is an environment, but that's not the truth. Do not depend on your company to be to take charge of your mental health. This is what I mean. I always say, don't outsource your personal development to others. Don't outsource the control of your mental health to someone else. Your work and everything shouldn't be the totality of who you are. You need to separate yourself from your work, because if that goes, you will struggle. So you need to find meaning, find value, find things that make you actually excited apart from work, even if it's tech related, and then do these things, share your own story, document what you can document. But yeah, that's the way I would see it. It's the company can do rules, but we have to be in charge of it. Don't outsource it to anyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have just one last question here,
Sure.
and it's from me. So what advice would you give to someone in tech industry who is struggling with mental health but feels hesitant to seek help? You know, like you said, awareness, we've gone from awareness, but now we are not really involved.
Yes.
We are not taking action. So how do you help such person that has mental health issue but is not able to seek for help?
I think as an individual, what I always tell people, I share my story, first of all. I'm not ashamed to share my story. Some people are like, oh, you talk about it. Yes, I talk about it. But first time I talked about it, I know someone was like, oh, DK, this is not something you should talk about. We have to remove the stigma by first of all talking about it. It's a reality that we need to face. I think I was in 2018 and the person was a bit worried. And I said, no, don't be worried. So first of all, we need to have conversations because that makes people realize I am not alone. Most of us, when we struggle, we think that we are the only people struggling like that. So that now has an adverse effect on us because we believe that no one else is struggling apart from us and no one else will understand. Therapy is expensive. I'm sure all of you will agree with that. Many of us cannot have, and therapy is not a one session thing. So sometimes it's 50,000 a session to 100,000 a session, and you need like 8 to 12 sessions. That is expensive. So what are cheap ways to do it? And when you start doing these cheap ways that we are suggesting, don't expect a miracle overnight. Be patient with yourself. You've had your mind for over 20 years or 30 years or 40 years, as the case may be. And you are just learning to let go and give yourself permission to face or at least accept that this thing is happening to you. So give yourself permission to do it for a while. If therapy is 12 weeks, journal, read the right books, watch the right videos, listen to other entrepreneurs discuss what imposter syndrome has done to them. Let them learn from other people's experiences. Be proud of your work, whether somebody destroys your work or anything. If you feel that way, then express your feelings. Anger is an emotion that should be expressed. I'll recommend a book, The Artist's Way. The Artist's Way is a 12-week book that tackles emotions for creatives. It's for writers, but I believe every creative needs it. It's by Julia Cameron, and she's James Cameron's sister. James Cameron is an Hollywood director. The book is old, over 30 years, but I would recommend it. It's a book that was done from a place of helping people deal, not just making money, but the journey is done by you. No one else can do their journey. When you are, even if you are not ready, start journaling. So I always say mindless flow. A mindless flow is a simple thing you need to do daily, whether you like it or not, where you're able to express yourself. And sometimes when you express yourself in these things, you may not want anybody to read it, tear it up. So there are sometimes you've expressed yourself. I have journals from 2017 behind me. I have journals from 2016 behind me. The person that was speaking in that time is a different person totally because I was patient with myself. Give yourself permission to fail. It's all right to fail. It's all right not to get something the first time. Give yourself that permission. Most of us are used to being graded. Most of us are used to being the best in class. So when it comes to things not working out, it breaks us completely. Allow yourself to be broken. Give yourself permission to build up small by small. When you're trying to be perfect, when you're trying to be the best all the time, it's too much pressure. Stop comparing yourself with somebody in Jamaica that you may never see. Most of us, internet is good and it is bad. It's good because we are learning, but it is bad because it is making people to compare themselves with 50 million people. Nobody has lived your journey. Nobody is walking in your shoes. Nobody knows your family background. Nobody knows your academic struggles. Nobody knows the creative struggles you go through. All they see is the finished work. So give yourself permission to say, if this doesn't work, I am still who I am. I'm a Christian, so my faith helps me a lot. I would say no matter what, Jesus Christ of Nazareth has died for my sins and he has risen. There's nothing I can do again. So I don't need anything else, but that is the conviction that I have. Your conviction should be based on your values. What are your values? What are the things that help you be the best version of yourself? What are the things that make you the worst version of yourself, if that's possible? But what are your values? So when you are working from a place of your values, you are able to embrace the entirety of who you are and realize that there will be these struggles, there will be these doubts. There's no need being in denial. Accept it and take action consistently. That's what I will say to that person.
Take action consistently. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much. Thank you. I am sure we've gotten value from DK. Please, let's give her an audio clap. Thank you. Thank you. Audio clap is sounding somehow, but that's all we can do. Thank you so much,
Oh,
DK.
Chiamaka, thank you very much.
It was
Well
really
done. Thank you.
we enjoyed the session.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So we've come to the end of Activate. We're going to see you next edition, which will be in the next quarter. So don't worry, the audio will be available, the video will be on YouTube. You can go back and just listen. It's something you should listen to over and over again, and encourage someone that you know might be going through mental health, that you are not alone. We are all in this, especially if you're in Nigeria, you are not alone. So let's talk about it. Let's help people. Let's help them get better. So once again, thank you to everyone who has stayed till this time. DK, we are extremely grateful. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you for pouring your hearts. And thank you for the teaching. So like the sheet is still here. Please, do we have your permission to send it to our participants again?
Oh, yes.
Like
Oh, yes. So that was the reason it was created. Send it to the participants, and I will send you the link to this evening's workshop. I believe that if anybody can make it, they should just try and make it.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. All right, then. Thank you so much for
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you. Bye, DK. Thank you very much. Okay.